Okay. Hello, friends. Welcome to another week of the teachings through the Torah, the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible. I've been sharing a couple videos about the teachings that I'm sharing here at Patch, the place where I work. It's a treatment center for teens. So my challenge is to get the information from the text, right? And at the same time, make an application that is simple, but I believe powerful for them. So for this week, we're going to be looking at chapter 31 of the book of Exodus. And this is how I title it. What will be if God is your boss? If God's your boss, will your life be different, right? Now, something that I notice in this world is that people are very depressed and sad because of what they do. The work the job that they have, the work that they're doing is not satisfying, and they think that their life is worthless because maybe they work at Apple Store, or maybe they have an important position in a fancy company, but this company is in their understanding not doing anything for the world. So their life is meaningless, right? Because they think that this sucks. But the worst situation of the work environment is when you have a bad boss. And people that have a bad boss, their lives are miserable, right? And it transpolates not only in their working place, it many times goes after work into their home place. But what if God will be your boss? And can God be your boss even if you have a bad boss on earth? I believe so. But we're going to be in Exodus chapter 31. Let me read the text for you really fast. The Lord spoke to Moses, "See, I have chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur, and of the tribe of Judah. And I have filled him with the Spirit of God in skill, in understanding, in knowledge, and in all kinds of craftsmanship." And God is going to select a couple people for the construction of the tabernacle. This special tent with a lot of special furniture that is going to be the place on earth where God himself is going to open a portal to another dimension into the heavens, here on earth, right? And that's what happened. But he's going to select special people. And this is something that I want to share with us today, my friends, because the Lord is selecting people from the earth to accomplish a special mission here on earth. And I believe if you're watching this, you are one of those people, right? So, but of all the texts, I'm going to be focusing on verses 1 through 11. And of all the texts, I want to mention five pieces of elements of the tabernacle that these people, Bezalel and Oholiab, were going to build in the tabernacle. Because this is going to show us how their job was so special for God. But the first thing that I want you to notice in this translation, it doesn't say, but in another translation says that I knew you by name. I know them by name. God talking about Bezalel. And see, when God is your boss, you have a boss that knows you truly in your character, by name, right? And he's calling you to this special mission, to a mission that is going to change the world. And it started right here in Exodus, and it continues today on the earth. But I want to focus in these five pieces of furniture, because these 5 pieces of furniture are going to show us how important was their mission, their work for God. And I'm going to be talking about the Ark of the Covenant, the table where the bread was, the menorah that provided light in the tabernacle, in the holy place, the garments of the priests, and also the altar before coming into the holy place. And the first one, the Ark of the Covenant, obviously it's, if you follow my video last week, it's a representation of the throne of God. So these people, these guys that are working for God in the tabernacle are reminding themselves all the time that they're working for God when they're building the ark, because that represents the throne of God. But also, if you have read the chapter in Isaiah chapter 6, that chapter is going to show you for real how the throne of God is, right? He is the boss. And this is the thing, my friends. Everyone is serving a boss. We are all under a boss. Either God, the God of the Bible, Jesus, or little gods, including Satan, money, fame, sex, all those things. Whom are you following? But the Ark of the Covenant is this powerful representation that God is in the throne and He's our boss. So imagine, right? You are working for the boss of bosses. Now the second one, the table, is where you have the bread. You have 12 pieces of bread and it's fresh each morning. Each of those pieces represented the 12 tribes of Israel. But this is the thing about the table. The table is showing you that God provides for you in a fresh way. If you are working right building the table, you know that there's going to be fresh bread each morning there. Showing you that God, if He's your boss, He's also a good boss that provides for you fresh and complete. And let me ask you, do you have that in your job? Do you feel fresh? Do you feel complete? Well, if God is your boss, you will be. And the other one, the menorah was providing light in 7 branches, 7 different ways, right? To the bread that represented the people. You have the light coming towards the people. And in Isaiah chapter 11, verse 2, you have 7 ways that the light of God in the Spirit comes with understanding, with knowledge, with peace. You should read those verses. That's the menorah. The menorah is also a perfect example of the tree in the Garden of Eden that was the representation of that light, of that life with God. So again, if God is your boss, you have that. You have freshness and you have clear understanding. Perfect understanding that God is giving you as you do your job. Right? A job that He prepared you to do. And the other ones are the garments for the priests. And the priest is that personification of a connection in between heaven and earth. So that to me is one of the most important pictures in the whole tabernacle. Right? The incarnation of these 2 places. In the priest. The priest makes sure that everything happened in the tabernacle. That the menorah had light. That the breads were fresh. That there was incense. The priest was essential. Without the priest, nothing happens. And you know what? When you work for God, your job and you yourself as a person, you are essential for Him. I know He doesn't need anyone, but for Him, you are essential. And this is the thing. It's not like what happened in the pandemic, right? Like there was essential jobs and people burn out and they have to quit because, my job is essential, but I'm just working all the time. In the tabernacle, God provided a lot of priests and also the Shabbat. So that you was essential, but without burning out. And this is my God. This is our God when He's our boss. He cares for us so much. He knows we're essential, but He's not going to let you burn out because He has provided for you amazing things. And the last one, the altar. Before you even come into the holy place, you have the altar there. That was for the sacrifice of substitutes for you, of animals, right? And to me, this is a powerful picture of how God is inviting you and me to be part of His work, to be part of the mission. Even though we are not worthy, right? He's changing the world. He wants to bring Eden on earth, but we were not a part of that team. All the opposite. We were damaging the world with our sin. But with the altar, you have a powerful representation that God is willing to invite you even though you are not worthy. By killing an animal that He Himself provided to the people of Israel. And guess what? Today, we don't have an animal. We have way much more than an animal. We have the Son of God who provided His life so that you and I, we can be part of this team. The altar shows that God was willing and is willing to invite you into His team as His boss. He becoming your boss. The only question that we have remaining is, do you want to work for Him? Do you want to be part of this? right? Because he wants to be your boss. But are you willing to leave behind the little gods with little g's and become part of the true God? And you may be telling me, I'm my own boss. I have my own businesses. I don't need no boss. I don't want no boss. I want to be the boss. Guess what? You are a little g boss. He is the good boss, and he cares for you more than you even care for yourself. Come to the one that knows you by name, trains you, keeps you fresh, keeps you in the known with clear knowledge, trusts you as essential without burnout. He's willing to make you part of his team and mission to save the world even when you have done the opposite. That's why he provided that substitute. He wants you, the boss of bosses. And the question is, do you want him? This is it. Exodus chapter 31. Have a blessed week, my friends.